3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh,
Wow. Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hey, everybody. It's a Tuesday afternoon, and we're live. How fun is that? Me and Ryan, Jim and Ryan here with you, and we're going to do a little watch-along. This Sunday is the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with the WWE, so we thought we haven't done a watch-along here in a little while, so we thought, why not do one? And we left it up to the fans of 3 Count Thursday to decide which match we were going to watch. We gave them the very first Hell in a Cell, and we gave them the most recent to date Hell in a Cell, and that would be Bad Blood 1997, which ended up winning. So while we're talking here, jump onto your WWE Network and go to October 1997. It is In Your House, Bad Blood with 2 Ds, Bad Blood, and go to 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds, and that is where we will begin when we give you the cue to do so. That is where we'll begin for this show. You'll see a shot of the original Hell in a Cell structure hanging above the ring. But we're going to talk here a little bit while everybody, if you're with us live, has a chance to jump onto their network and do it. Nick is here with us. He says watch along. Devin with us as well. Yeah, so we're glad we have some live viewers with us. So obviously this Thursday night, Ryan, we will be, along with our normal Thursday night activities on 3 Count Thursday, we will be previewing this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and Brittany, our official 6th member, will be back with us on the air. She will be joining us as it is a pay-per-view. It's almost become like a pay-per-view tradition to have Brittany with us. So we are looking forward to that. But Ryan, last night, of course, Monday Night Raw, the season premiere, Monday Night Raw. We saw some new faces on the show. We saw some familiar faces. Not gonna get anything ugly here, but did you watch Raw last night? I didn't even know if you watched Raw last night.
Yeah, I did. And before we go, I just want to reiterate, it's 204.25 on the WWE Network for the watch along. The scene before the scene, it's the commentary team, King, Vince McMahon, and JR speaking, and then it cuts to the Hell in a Cell. That's when you were pausing at 204.25.
Yes.
Yeah, Jim, I thought it was all right. I mean, I don't love everything about it, obviously. I don't mind Retribution losing. That seemed to be a big issue with a lot of people. I mean, from just casual fans to folks like, Sean Ross Sapp. Is that it? Sapp Ross Sapp,
The Fightful guy, yeah.
one of the Fightful guys. You can't bitch one week that this is really stupid and they have dumb masks, and then the next week the Fiend comes over and establishes himself as like this crazy monster face on a brand new show that maybe they didn't watch SmackDown and they've heard of the Fiend, but they needed to see what the Fiend can do. And then bitch that Retribution lost. I mean,
well, and again,
if Retribution would have stomped the Fiend,
then the Fiend's buried.
The Fiend's buried, and the backlash is even worse, I think. So you have the Fiend establish himself, and then you have Retribution later on in a backstage segment re-justify like the purpose that they're there, led by their leaders. And I got a like more than words vibe from that, from Extreme. The black and white, Ali has his hair down. That was just my feeling from that photo.
Great heel style on that haircut, by the way, too. It's had good shape to it. I like it. It differentiates himself a little.
Luxurious hair. Luxurious. He must use salon selectives.
Well, and people also need to remember a couple of things. A win or a loss in a match does not mean a push or a bury, for one. And also, this is the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment, where wins and losses do not matter. At no point have they told us that we have a standings board where wins and losses matter. So, and again, it's also it's the Hurt Business, getting one up on Retribution this time, and then like the Fiend kind of bum rushing them. Like it is what it is. Charlie here on my watch party says he was a little ticked that Dijak took the fall. I think that's irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter. I mean Dio Madden got put into or through the table. Ali got hit on the outside. Thorne got hit on the outside. The Fiend's obviously not going to hit Mia Yim. So I mean everybody kind of took their thing. And he says he wouldn't have put the Retribution with the Fiend. But I mean, here's the thing. When week after week, fans continue to say that nothing significant happens on Raw, nothing of importance happens on Raw, they need to get my attention, they don't do anything on Raw. This is what you get. Yeah. Like, and I've said it again on our show, be careful what you ask for. Because sometimes they'll give it to you. That
sometimes the wolf shows up.
Yeah. The Fiend, I agree with you, Ryan. I think it was about giving the Fiend a big statement on his first episode of Raw. And all the stuff they were doing with Alexa Bliss, the Retribution's fine, the Hurt Business is good. We'll obviously talk a little more about it on Thursday as it leads into our Hell in a Cell preview, but I did enjoy the show overall last night. So not going to talk much more about Raw. I think we gave the people here, again, 2 hours, 4 minutes, 25 seconds is going to be the start time on this. We're about to hit play. We'll give you the heads up. Ernest Christian joining us. What's up, buddy?
What's up, EC?
If you haven't checked out his wrestling podcast, the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast, they've done a mock draft episode the last 2 weeks of their own, kind of rounding out the draft festivities. So check them out and enjoy that. So I'm going to count us. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then play. And we're going to get going here again. In Your House, 1997, 2:04:25 in 3, 2, 1, play. So as we see here now, this is the original Hell in a Cell, and I'll bring up audio a little bit from time to time just for reference.
Oh, come on! With that in mind, let's take you back. I believe to Michael Cole.
So they're
Doc Hendricks, are you there?
They're going to a Doc Hendricks backseat, dude. So first off, and we'll let it play while we talk here. But the original Hell in a Cell structure obviously was the old silver cage. It's been reinvented a few times. Now the most recent is red. Is there one like design, Ryan, of the Hell in a Cell that you prefer to others?
No, it doesn't affect me one way or the other. But look at the arms of China, man.
Yeah. Now, were you a fan of when Rick Rude was in with DX?
I know it happened. I don't necessarily remember Rick Rude doing all of that much in DX. I think my DX memories are much more with like New Age Outlaws and X-Pac DX rather than this incarnation of DX, the original DX.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the original 3, but I feel like the time with Rick Rude was very short. So like there wasn't a whole lot. Now, oddly enough, the thing I remember most was the night he was on Raw and Nitro, because Raw was taped and then he was live on Nitro. He was on Raw with a mustache or a goatee, ends up over on Nitro without, which was fun. I do like the hexagonal mic flag there and the blue ball, a little bit different look than we're used to nowadays. Yeah, I mean, with the Hell in a Cell, like
I thought Doc Hennig was going to kiss him there.
I thought so too. I always love the crowd shots. Like it's amazing, like when you go over the years, to see like signs versus less signs versus more signs, and then the different clothing styles and things that we've seen over the years with some of the stuff. Devin says the original design will always be a classic. And yeah, obviously the big thing with the original design is it didn't have the footholes that have been signed into it now. Like, and I think that really obviously came into play more in the Undertaker and Mankind one from the King of the Ring. But and honestly, I can't remember if anybody climbed to the top in this match. Just headshot.
Been a while since we've seen headshots. Yeah, holy cow.
Taker used to take a lot of those as well. If I'm really remembering it, like I just remember a lot of arms at the side, chair shots to the head, which nowadays, I mean, like you remember like when Cody got hit with his in AEW, just how weird it felt to see somebody take a headshot.
Yeah, that's something different.
But I saw. I'm
sure that's not the last one we're going to see.
Oh, probably not. I would imagine in this match, which the timing on it is almost 30 minutes to the second. It's 29:59 on this match. So thank you, 3CT audience, for giving. And I mean, we only gave you 2 options, but you gave us a long one here. The rest of
the other one was 17 minutes. I looked.
I saw some people last night talking about like how unnecessary the red cage is. Sure, I mean they probably didn't need to make it red, but like I also don't find it, because last year I think was the first one where it was red. Like I don't I don't find necessarily any issue with it.
I don't like to look through it.
I wouldn't like it in the building if I was in the building.
I feel like my eyes have been trained to like look through. Yeah, present the back. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Another headshot. So, we're currently at 208.39. We had just seen the Undertaker take a second headshot with a chair, and he was down on the ground. This is still
they're different to see anymore. I never would have thought I'd flinch at a headshot.
Oh, there's some color. There's Taker got some color on that one. But this is still the lead up, the video leading up to what was the very first Hell in a Cell match. Now, Ryan, as we're still leading up to this here, we see Sergeant Slaughter and Earl Hebner looking under the ring in a previous video. Look at all that stuff. A milk crate full of God knows what. Toolbox. See, there was a toolbox. Everybody was mad when
extra sets of ropes.
Yeah, people were always mad when Rollins pulled out the toolbox the other year. But see, there's a toolbox under there. Looks to be maybe some pyro pieces, some of those metal pipes that
Hornswoggle
in the back. Ernest here says it's a nice aesthetic, but it takes away from the matches. I think meaning the red cage. But now let's look back over the rest of this Bad Blood card as we're awaiting.
Hold on, are they gonna drop the cell here soon?
I guess that's what it looks like.
Or are they doing the intros?
They're doing the intros. See Hunter Hearst Helmsley coming out. Now this is a very different In Your House set than the original like living room setup to it. This is just, couple of scaffolding, a little bit of fencing, and a very small In Your House logo. So kind of this is not a good place for me. I always loved the original In Your House living room set.
Yeah, this is the 18th In Your House pay-per-view, so obviously evolved from that. I think this one was closer to 3 hours as well, less than like the typical 2-hour In Your House time running.
This one was at the Kiel Center in St. Louis, Missouri, and I believe that is now the Enterprise Center. That is still the arena that the St. Louis Blues play in. It was just the Kiel Center. It's been through a few name changes over the years. You could see like the yellow seating and barricades in the seating area. So that was a giveaway. There's European title too, man. I loved the look of the European title.
Yeah, I really did like that one too, man.
And as the shows got longer back then and you had more TV, it gave another title for them to go. And I thought for at least a while, at least at the onset, they booked it extremely well and extremely important. I mean, Bulldog, Michaels, you think of the guys that held that title at the onset. There was a lot of heavy hitters with it. Ernest says this is his peak HBK. I always loved this pyro.
This pyro is so good.
The back and forth. But DX here obviously getting a lot of heat at the time.
James, you make a great point though about the European Championship. Imagine today the 24/7 champion or whatever you would want to call the equivalent of what the European Championship is in a number one contender's main event Hell in a Cell match to face the world champion. Any music coming down with the cage, or is it just dropping?
They're just bringing it down. Yeah, no music, no lights. No cop out to it. Okay, so now the Undertaker's music is starting. That's where the Gaga comes in, not with the cell, with the Undertaker.
Got it.
Okay, so DX is getting out.
You can feel the temperature drop in 20 degrees.
It always gets colder in that building. It's amazing. But this one, oh crap, was this the show where this is the show where Brian Pillman had passed away.
Correct. This is the Pillman passed away that afternoon.
Yeah, I'm looking back up here on the Wikipedia page. At the top of the show, Nation Domination preparing for their match. Vince McMahon mentioned has already been announced on the Free for All pre-show that Brian Pillman died earlier in the day. Also, this is the last pay-per-view that McMahon called in his position as WWE's chief broadcaster. Wow,
there it is.
But wow, okay. So I didn't realize this was the Pillman show.
Yeah, Pillman was scheduled to wrestle on this show, scheduled to compete in a match against Cactus Jack, which got canceled. And then the WWE had to scramble, so they had like a midgets match thrown on, which seems really out of place when you're watching.
Yeah, so this is as the Undertaker's coming to the ring here. And now this match as well, the Hell in a Cell was to determine the number one contender for the WWF title the next month at Survivor Series. But this is the rest of the card. It opened Nation Domination, which is D'Lo Brown, Kama Mustafa, and Rocky Maivia defeating the Legion of Doom, just Animal and Hawk. The Max Mini and Nova defeating Mosaic and Tarantula. I believe that was a little person's tag match.
That was the Minis match, yeah.
I'm sure they used the word midget on this show.
They did.
Yeah,
they sure did.
Then you had the Godwins, Henrio and Phineas, of course, with Uncle Cletus, defeating the Headbangers for the WWF Tag Team titles. Owen Hart defeated Farouk for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. There's a tournament leading up to that. I guess Pillman had defeated Dude Love by DQ. Owen Hart defeated Gold Dust by DQ. Farouk had beaten Ken Shamrock, Ahmed Johnson over Rocky Maivia, and then Owen Hart by DQ over Pillman, Farouk by DQ over Ahmed Johnson, and then Owen Hart got so there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in the tournament. 4 of them ended by DQ. So that's a little bit of perspective as well, and of course the Undertaker just bringing the lights back into the building. But bringing that into perspective for people that say that WWE only makes poor booking decisions in today's world. Remember this in 1997. Then you had the Disciples of Apocalypse, 8-Ball, Chains, Crush, and Skull defeating Los Boricuas, Jesus Castillo Jr., Jose Estrada Jr., Miguel Perez Jr., and Savio Vega. And then you had the flag match, which was Bret Hart and the British Bulldog defeating the Patriot and Vader. So those were the other matches here on this card. 21,151 in attendance, a buy rate of 240,000. So, I mean, this is when, you know, kind of the Attitude Era and things were kind of just starting. I mean, you know, 1 month from this pay-per-view is, of course, when Bret Hart loses to Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series, and then things really start to change for the WWF. But here we go, Michaels.
What was it? What was it? Was it the New Generation? Is that what it was called? Like the New Generation era, right before the Attitude Era?
Yeah, 90s. Yeah, it became because
I mean, you can definitely feel this is the start of like Attitude vibe for sure.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I mean, you know, headshots and you know all of this. Now that is not a beer I'm drinking. That's a cheer wine. If you've never had cheer wine, it's a cherry soda.
Very cherry.
But so Michaels was trying to run away from the Undertaker inside this structure. You obviously can't get too far. We see him overselling a spot as only Shawn Michaels can do.
James, as if you're opposed to day drinking.
I mean, it is what day of the week is it? Tuesday. It's a Tuesday.
This card honestly reads like an AEW card, a handicap match, a midget match, a tag team championship match, an 8-man tag match, a flag match, and a Hell in a Cell match. There's only like one match that's not a gimmick match.
Yeah, that's Full Gear or Fighter Fest right there for you.
The course of history in the WWF.
Boy, that ring sounded real
great. Vince's calls were great.
Michaels will fight you.
But listen to that ring. Like now we've gotten used to it. Maybe it's just the way it was mic'd back then, but the ring sounds a lot harder back then.
Very snappy, yeah.
The Undertaker.
I mean, a lot more stomping, though, too, with the punches. I don't think we see that as much as we did back then.
I don't think so either. And I mean, I still remember we were at that indie show where Ted DiBiase was on and you know, had a little spot with some of the guys in the ring. And I mean, he still has there's the classic Michaels turnbuckle spot, but DiBiase still with the stomps in his punches nowadays.
Crisp as shit, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
DiBiase looking about as big as one of us.
Sign my basketball, though. Gotta love that.
Hey,
Ernest says you can argue Attitude Era started shifting in late '96. Yeah, I would agree. You know, I think you know once you kind of started getting that, you know, DX, you know, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and really the counter to both of them. You know, for the better part of the next year, you know, leading up to Survivor Series 97 was Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, this Canada versus America and Austin and all this, you know, because Bret Hart's gimmick really Michael's the leap on the
unreal
vintage Undertaker, old school. But you know, you think about it and like, you know, Bret Hart's gimmick never really changed. You know, he always kind of, you know, for obviously a little bit there when he started sticking an enema hose in Pittsburgh, you know, that was a little out of character. But I otherwise, he always kind of stuck to, I'm a wrestler, I have family values and this and that. And then over that time, it kind of just that almost became, passe and the wrong thing to do. So it was just kind of this perfect time. And even in other entertainment, you had Beavis and Butthead at South Park, and you had, grunge music and stuff like that. So I think it was just a sign of the mid to late 90s, early 2000s that WWE just found the chord and struck it, and it worked out like gangbusters for him.
Yeah, I think he has a point when he's saying, 96. I think a lot of things, get blurred. Like, I would always think Pillman was definitely part of that Attitude Era. When you're thinking Pillman's got a gun, like that whole segment, like that's Attitude Era. And this is the afternoon where Brian Pillman was found dead in his hotel room. So, he's probably right. Attitude Era. Yeah, I mean, this is a Hell in a Cell match.
I mean, Pillman's got a gun to now. Miro is fighting because a video game got busted. Very different.
You break my shit.
You
this
broke
is Teardrop Undertaker. I forgot about Teardrop Undertaker.
Yeah, did he ever reveal what that was about? Like,
I thought that meant he killed a man in prison.
I mean, that's one explanation. I don't remember a time where Nails got the Undertaker or a Big Boss Man locked him up. I don't remember that. Maybe that was during a time where I wasn't watching. I don't know. So there we see the first.
Nails was good. Nails was actually the guy that the Blake Shelton song "Old Red" was about. That was written about Nails. Nails was the guy that was taking care of the dog and got out and then went and wrestled with the WWF.
Gotcha. That makes sense now. We saw the first instance of anybody trying to climb the cage. Michaels went up. There you go. Full body thrown into the cage. Good. Undertaker always threw a good standing clothesline, by the way. People, I think sometimes people forget just how good the Undertaker was, in the ring. Devin here says some of the bumps make me cringe. Yeah, me too. It is wild to watch some of this stuff back. Just how much has changed. I mean, now we're getting apron spots, which you didn't get all those years ago. But there's definitely some bumps and some spots that make me cringe.
And even those flat back bumps there on they don't look like the thickest of pads, man.
No, it looks like the stuff we used to have in gym class.
Right, we would do forward rolls and hurt our head on.
Yeah, and by forward rolls, you mean us fat guys just put our face in the mat and went, I can't roll.
I could always do a decent forward roll.
Really, I couldn't.
Not that I'm super proud of that, but
I could do the just roll down a hill like a roly poly because I'm.
Sure, that's always good.
Easy to do when you're round. Ernest says he remembers Bruce Pritchard saying how much he despised the teardrop on Undertaker's face. That would be one of those things they're doing this 30 Days of Undertaker, and if they ever do another look back on the through the what was the documentary? And Jesus, why the hell?
The Last Ride?
The Last Ride. Because they had done that, the extra episode where it was some of the cutting room floor stuff. I would love for them to go back and I would love a Q&A with the Undertaker, and that would be one that I would try to get through. I would hope somebody would get through. What was up with the teardrop? Okay, so here's some body shots. This is and again, this is a slightly different era of the Undertaker, but you would see that a lot more later on with the American Badass, and then through the end of his career, the boxing body shots.
I mean, we have not gone. This is pre-Ministry, correct? Because Vince is still on commentary.
Yes. This would be before the Ministry, because it was the Ministry and the corporation. Then of course they became the corporate Ministry.
Right. Okay. I mean, I never really thought about boxing Undertaker in this era, throwing body blows like that.
No, and maybe it's not without going back and watching other Undertaker matches.
Oh,
maybe this was just because of the style of the match. So Ministry was 99. This is pre-Ministry.
Okay.
Thank you, EJ. So Michaels is just getting roughed up here in the early going of this match. And we still have a little ways to go here. we're in it for the long haul on this match. But yeah, I know I watched this. I don't know if I had gotten the pay-per-view or if I had rented the VHS after the fact from D&J Video in Lititz, Pennsylvania. But I know I've seen this match before. It has been a real long time. I think Michaels jammed his finger there or something on the step. I don't think he realized the step was there.
Again, no disqualification, ladies and gentlemen. It's hell in a cell, and I can tell you, Michaels certainly feels as though, I would suspect, he's in hell, living in hell right now.
I guess it's a little too much to expect any compassion whatsoever on the part of The Undertaker. How long will he want to continue?
And The Undertaker following in Michaels, through no help of his own.
Okay. So Taker was going for a kind of follow up to the Irish Whip, and Michaels got out of the way. So Michaels,
I've always liked this blue and yellow WWF logo too.
Oh, it's so good. It is so
I've
good.
always liked that.
Yeah, and that was the new generation logo, because obviously beforehand you saw kind of the silver and black, like where it fades to each other. But yeah, this one kind of became the norm during this era. So, obviously this being Vince McMahon's last show on commentary, were you a fan, Vince, on commentary? I know some people.
I joke. We obviously have our what a maneuver, and that's strict. Jesus, what an oversell.
Dolph Ziggler does a very great Shawn Michaels impersonation these days.
Real how good it is. I think we've joked like Vince got tied up with calling the moments and not actually calling the match, and having to rely on things like what a maneuver. And I mean, he just told such a great story about even like the comment when you raised your volume about the Shawn Michaels feeling like he's in hell. That was what Vince McMahon did really, really good. And maybe it's because he wasn't an in-ring competitor like the King or anything like that.
Yeah, I always enjoyed him. Like, I really liked, like during the 90s when he had Mr. Perfect or DiBiase or whomever, the Roddy Piper joined him on commentary for shows. I always enjoyed that era. I mean, my favorite commentary team will always be Bobby the Brain, Gorilla, absolutely. So and Ernest here on my watch along said the in-ring psychology of this match is very underrated. I agree. Like, this is the thing I find very interesting here in the early going. We still have about 20 minutes. We're at the third of the way through the match, and I would say a good there's a replay on that oversell by Michaels. Out of the 10 minutes in this match, it feels like 9.5 of them have been on the outside. Right. It feels like, and again, this is a new match, so it's being presented as, because we've always been used to the salad steel cage. When there's a cage around the ring, you're stuck in the ring. So I think maybe that was part of the reason for so much of it. Look, man, Michaels was strong back then to be able to throw those 500-pound steps, just heave them around ringside like that. No wellness policy in this era, I guess.
No, that's a great call, though. Like, we've seen this match brawling on the outside in between, and not the greatest camera work I've seen a couple times so far.
Well, better than now, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, you got your guys in your jumpsuits, which is something we don't see anymore.
I always liked the jumpsuits, to be honest.
I did too. I'd love to own a jumpsuit.
There's Michaels to get the camera out of the way. Ernest says his favorite Vince commentary team was with Jesse Ventura, so they killed it on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
which I think Ernest, you've been digging back into a lot of old Saturday night's main events and stuff. I think he and I were texting each other one time. But yeah, just for reference sake, we are 2:29:50. Michael's on the apron, crawling back into the ring through the bottom rope. Oh, camera cut out there. And a good cut. I'll give the production team some props on that one.
Quick response there.
For changing it quick. But yeah, I think one thing, just watching this compared to what we have now in terms of the camera work, like I almost feel like there's way too many cameras now, and I get it. Like, there's so much technology in it. There's so much lights and staging and things like that. But part of me feels like the WWE could be served very well by cutting a couple of cameras out, so you wouldn't have the option of, the Kevin.
Right.
Dunn.
I feel like this scene where we saw one camera cut, we would have seen 4 or 5.
Yeah. And like,
it's a great call. I'd love to see less cameras. I mean, simplify it, right?
And obviously you and I, a little bit, different background because of, our area of study in college and in high school. But, it's everybody sees there's far too many camera cuts in the WWE anymore. So here you go, steel chair. There you go. Present the back. That's much smarter. Present the back. Don't get the head involved. Good old chair shot to the back. Now, have you ever taken a chair shot across the back like that, Ryan?
Yes. Yeah, we were taking them once at work.
Okay. Does it? I mean, I don't think I ever actually had. I don't think
Rodney got a good one in. Rodney got a really good one in. The guy I used to work with.
Did you feel it? I mean, did it hurt?
Yeah, it vibrates. It hurts like hell. I mean, it wasn't a shot like that either. Like, that was chair, like the length of your spine. This was like a safe shot.
Sideways.
I'm a meaty wide back across the back, right? And it was like well timed, and it was fine.
So there was our first.
It wasn't anything like that. That has to hurt like shit, though.
Oh, it's.
Fake or not, that doesn't feel good.
I got my Zack Ryder shirt on, Ryan. You should be proud of me.
I am proud of you, Jim.
I still
I knew you would come around eventually. When's the last time he was on AEW?
He only had a 3-month deal, and he was on for about 2 weeks. So that tells you all you need to know about.
Yeah. That's a shame.
All right, now this is something we haven't seen a lot of anymore. I think we've accidentally seen it, but this is an intentional wrap a guy up in the ropes with his arms. This is,
I feel like the ropes are too tight to do this really anymore.
That might be a good point, because you have so many these flippy floppy guys. See,
less flippy dudes back here. Right.
Flippy do wrestling has killed the business. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time we've actually seen this.
I feel like it would have been like a Roman Reigns or something.
Maybe like a Shield. It could be like a good.
I feel like it might have happened recentlier than that. More recently.
See, this is why
we'd have to look it up. That's another great camera shot there.
Yeah, this is why we need Matt as our stat guy, like he was back in the day, to look these things up so we don't look like buffoons on the air.
Punch him, Shawn. Punch him.
Ernest says, and to think as great as this match was, their Mania 25 match gets more props historically. Yeah, I mean, these two guys, I think, always worked well together. I think their match at SummerSlam 97, just a couple months before this, was really good. That's where Bret Hart became the WWF champion. Boy, they just like abusing all the camera guys and production staff in that cell, don't they?
Yeah, they're just throwing everybody out. And yeah, no, I want to. Match is progressing quickly. I mean, I feel like I've not watched this match long. I've seen a bunch of Hell in a Cell matches. This has stood the test of time so far. And again, it's crazy to think this is the first time these fans and this era is seeing wrestling between the ring and the outside, still in a cage.
Yeah.
this still stands the test of time.
Yeah, like so far, this has been a good Hell in a Cell match, and we're about at the halfway point. We're at.
What do you think I just said? He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
We're at 2:34. So I mean, the show closed at 2:49, so it's about 15 minutes. We're about halfway now through this match, and the action's been good. It's whoop.
Kip up.
There's a classic kip up. Yeah, I mean it's real good.
So cocky.
Yeah, I'm really impressed so far.
And you know why he is? Because he can be.
Oh, we got Sarge coming out.
How's he going to help anybody? Michaels from the top, driving the elbow.
Earl Hebner looking. Yeah, that ring was very snappy. Very snappy. Not a lot of give. Not a lot of give on that one. Almost reminiscent.
I feel like those ropes are floppier, like I said, than today. They're still vibrating pretty good from Shawn.
EJ says, so rare to have two of the same guys have multiple 5-star matches. They have at least 3. Absolutely. I mean, that just shows you just how good the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were. So either that camera guy is a great seller, or he legit got his ass knocked out. But either way, he's doing a great job. So there we got sweet chin music.
Indie worker number 7.
Yeah. Great chin music, great setup right away.
This was the way to open the cage.
Aha, great point. Because I was wondering about that. I was wondering because I remember seeing a lot of stuff outside, and I was like,
kudos to the WWE again, like realizing this is the first time they've seen this match with the space between.
Here we go. Here's the classic shot.
Nice.
Whammo. Great spot there.
Yeah. I mean, kudos. I mean, again, great booking. Booking this match in a first ever thing that's supposed to contain, again, like a cage, supposed to contain the action. A cell contains the action. There's no way they're getting out, and they have to open the door for a cameraman. And then it's brilliant, so good.
Well, I'm pretty sure because I started looking for it after he went head first. I think he was already bleeding when he hit the cage. So I assume that the blade job happened right as Taker threw him to the ground when they came out. I think it's probably where Michaels clipped himself there, and then of course when he got launched is because it looked like he was bleeding when he got launched in.
Really, I didn't know. I have to go back. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that's something when I'm done here. I want to go back and check it again because I knew he bled in this match, but I didn't see anything that looked like he did it after the fact. So I think he was probably already bleeding when he went into the side of the cell.
Makes sense. You want to gig yourself even when you got caught.
What's he doing? Trying to get away from the Undertaker. And Michaels.
So got no footholds in this one. This is an impressive climb.
It's like a horror movie. Something bad's happening. You better go upstairs.
Yeah. Like that commercial when they're trying to figure out what to do, and the girl's like, "Why don't we get in the running car?" And they look at her like she's a dope.
Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
There's a comedian, I forget. I think it might have been like Pablo Francisco that was like talking about like the ridiculousness of horror movies and how it's like a group of kids and they're like, they hear the scary music, it's empty music. Anybody here? All right, well, I'm gonna get naked and I'm gonna go take a shower because that seems like a great idea when you're in this creepy house and something's clearly trying to get you.
What a great shot with the drop of blood on it from the in-ring guy.
Yeah, look at that. I feel like nowadays, like Vince would be sitting in the back going, clean that camera. But yeah, a great camera shot. The top of this, I always thought it looked a little strange, like with like the pyramiding, the scaffolding, but I guess that was the lead point to the rig. But yeah, definitely they didn't reinforce the top of the original Hell in a Cell like we see nowadays. There's a lot of movement on that fencing.
Yeah, I feel like it's just zip tied up there.
Yeah, I would love, I would love to know, like the first. There you go. Michael's like, I'm getting out of here too. Forget this. I would love to know, like, who first thought this concept up, and when it was originally thought up, if they really truly thought about the fact that guys are going to end up on the top of this thing. Because I don't feel like that's a thing that like was taken into consideration. Oh, so there's the table bump with
Shawn Michaels back.
With monitors and everything. Yeah, EG says so much respect for HBK taking these bumps. Absolutely,
yeah, dude.
Because like obviously now you have the flat screen monitors for everybody, but those
look at that pile of blood
they used back in the day. Yeah, absolutely. We're just monsters. Yeah, Tito Santana, I guess was on the Spanish commentary team. There he is.
Oh yeah,
we met him at the Barnstormers.
Yeah, what a nice gentleman, really was.
When you could still go to live baseball games.
Yeah, those were things. I forgot about those things.
Live sports and shaking hands and things like that. Boy.
Yeah, there's a picture of me and a young Big Jim with Tito Santana. Oof.
Man. Michael's just getting checked. Look at that. Yeah, that's a crimson mask right there.
Yeah, he's a bloody one.
It tells me Michael's always a really good bleeder. WrestleMania 20, the triple threat with him and Chris Benoit. There was one point where like Michaels ended up on the outside of the ring, and I thought he's just dead out there. He's just bleeding to death. Because he was
great camera shot of like Taker just stalking his prey again outside of a steel structure that the WWE's never seen before.
Absolutely.
Such good camera work.
This match,
I mean, again, you couldn't really do much more than I guess just walk there.
Yeah, because it was just the little bit of area between him and the barricade. So now back in cage.
That's like Cody Rhodes level blood right there.
You ain't kidding. Ooh. So I assume that the next night on Raw, these still shots were black and white.
Oh, sure. Oh, that kid jumps high.
Great clothesline.
This match is great. I forgot how good this match was.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised. I really am.
So we're about 7 minutes or so left. So we're 23 minutes in. It does not feel like this match has been that long.
No, this match has gone very fast. And thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Tuesday if you're watching us live. If not, I hope you're enjoying watching this, on replay.
Yeah, this is fun. We're going to definitely try and do some more of these. They won't always be on an afternoon, because this is typically your day off right now, given the sign of the times. I have some time on my hands.
Sure, yeah.
But
I don't think they're always going to be live.
No, probably won't always be live, but we'll get them out there. We'll always, let everybody know. I think we had a request for a episode of Superstars.
Yeah, a gentleman had messaged us.
In our DM.
Sometimes they'll be on YouTube. Sometimes they'll be here on Facebook, maybe on Twitter. Who knows?
But
is Periscope still a thing?
Yeah, that's the Twitter. The Twitter's live. So we're live
Twitter
on
video thing,
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now. Oh, there's just a headshot.
Are we doing tout later on? Is that later?
Yeah, we'll do tout later on. Yeah, it. Uh-oh. The lights just went out.
Somebody must have pulled the.
This is the classic line. My God.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! It's Paul Bear! It's Paul Bear!
It's got to be.
That's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!
So good. So good.
Oh, look, the facial expression on it. It just rips the door off.
Rip the door off its hinges.
Poor Earl. Poor old Earl getting thrown around there.
Because Earl had to die.
How big was Glenn Jacobs back then? Jesus.
Man. He will make a great mayor later on his future, I bet.
He absolutely will.
Great sell there by the Undertaker, just like lipping something. It was really good.
Boy, I don't nobody was bitching about the red lights back at this Hell in a Cell. Kane still had that gut back then, though. He had the gut, and then it went away, and now it's back tenfold.
So this will be the first time we saw Kane Pyro, right?
Yeah, this is the debut. Obviously, that's got to be Kane. Oh shit!
A kick to the gut and a tombstone. Boy, Undertaker's buried.
Oh, look at him! They buried him. Poor Undertaker, just buried, dead and buried.
A man making his debut, hitting his finish. Undertaker's buried. He's done.
He's done. This is it.
He'll never recover from this.
Absolutely not. Done.
1997 is the death of the Undertaker, folks.
Ernest says a great point here. The genius of this angle was Kane was forgotten for a few months in storyline before this debut, and then bringing him in now, like it was a great callback, and add some shock value to it. Yeah.
Side note: I can't wait for the Paul Bearer episode of the Undertaker. Like they're doing like the 30 Days of Undertaker.
Oh my God.
Whatever they're doing with Paul Bearer, I cannot wait to watch.
Me neither. Yeah, I would almost venture a guess that's going to be the debut Sunday after Hell in a Cell.
Hebner always had a great I'm hurting count.
There's a 1. Oh, there's a 3. There it is.
Yeah, man, you got to put over that nuke. I told you, Undertaker's dead.
Yeah, he's dead, man. Buried. Look at that puddle of blood. Oh. Ooh.
Puddle of blood.
Oh, yeah, lest we forget, we are, of course, sponsored via NG Sports by Arena Eats, arenaeats.app. If you go to ngscsports.com, you'll find the Arena Eats logo right there at the top, or go to arenaeats.app and check it out. And once, for those that do get to go to sporting events, or whenever we get back to a life that resembles normal, you won't even have to get up out of your seat. You can just sit there, pop on the order, and food will be brought right to you. What's more American than that? I tell you what.
I cannot wait to try the Arena Eats app once I get back to going to sporting events. It's a great app. So excited for them to be sponsoring NGSC Sports in our show. So thank you guys so much for that. I cannot wait to stuff my gullet with delicious arena foods.
God, I miss arena. What's your favorite? What's like your, if I say arena food or stadium food, like what's a staple that you're pretty much always going to get if you go to a game?
Oh man, I am always a hot dog with onion guy. I love hot dog, onion, ketchup. Those 3 combinations, I'm always going to be good. Around here, the chicken up at the Giant Center is so good. I love that. I enjoy a Coke. Probably at a game more than any other beverage. If I had to do it, I do a Mountain Dew. I'm not a beer drinker, so I would skip the beer. And I love some funnel cake.
Oh yeah, if I'm at a baseball game, it'll generally be hot dog, a beer, and peanuts. If I'm at like a Hershey Bears game, it will always be it'll generally be a soda. I think they have Pepsi there, so I'll just go regular Pepsi.
They do have Pepsi.
And then I get the chicken, the Aruga's chicken, and then I always get a box of popcorn when I go to hockey games.
Oh, okay.
Always get a box of pop, and my wife laughs at me because it's like the shit they pop like 3 days before, in like a 2-ton bag, and then they just fill those boxes. But I love it.
It's a weird graphic to flash up there.
Yeah, absolutely. The Taker definitely beat up there, and that's it. That's the end. That's the end of Bad Blood in Your House. Devin says hot dog, popcorn, and nachos, and French fries. There you go.
Oh, I do like some nachos. I had nachos at WrestleMania. They were delicious.
Oh, yeah, but hey, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for our like arena and stadium food. Like I fucking miss
What
that.
What a weird graphic of Undertaker holding his own head.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Is that what came up for everybody?
Well, no, mine came up, I guess, for the next In Your House, which would have been the December because
Okay.
I went through on my network. I went through the In Your Houses to find mine. Yeah, but that was the poster. Undertaker holding up his own head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With the background, it's odd. It's just an odd picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Super weird. Super weird. So. Then EJ says here he believes DX became official a week after this match. I guess is it in the first time they actually called themselves.
Okay, wow.
Generation X. I don't think I realized that was the chronology there, but
what a catalyst to really set a lot of stuff in motion. This pay-per-view and especially that match was then.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
But yeah, this was a fun match.
Like it stands the test of time. It really does.
Yeah, and then this match was given a 5-star rating by Dave Meltzer. So if it was in Japan, it would have been at least 7, I would think.
Huge.
But yeah, that's. I mean, it was great. It would be the last WWE match to receive a 5-star until John Cena versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank in 2011.
Wow.
So definitely a rarity for the WWE. But yeah, that match was really good.
I'm so glad this won the poll.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to seen the reactions from people for the Rollins Fiend one from a year ago, but now EJ, you're saying that this Undertaker Michaels match is your favorite, or the Cena CM Punk one? Because he says arguably his favorite match of all time. I mean, wow. But yeah, when we were getting ready here and pulling up everything and getting ready to go live, and I looked at the time of this match, I went half an hour. I'm like, holy cow! Like this is that's gonna be in for the long haul. That did not feel like a half-hour match.
No, that was quick. That was a fun match.
So this one,
I'm really glad that won.
Yeah, this one EJ said was his favorite, arguably his favorite. So wow, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've watched this match in full. So so thank you to the 3CT audience, Ryan. I think we can close out. Is there anything you wanna add here before we shut her down?
The only thing I want to add is if you haven't yet and you're still able to in your state, get registered to vote. Within 2 weeks, we'll be voting for a new president of the United States. So make sure you do your civic duties, get yourself registered. If you're not, if it's too late, you've disappointed me.
Yeah. It's I've already done mine. Mine has already been received and counted. So I'm done. So this Thursday night, there's a debate, but I don't even need to care because my vote's already in. And you shouldn't care either. Come watch 3 Count Thursday on Thursday night. We'll be back here live on Facebook on Thursday night at 8 o'clock, as we always are. And until then, guys, stay safe. Thanks for playing along. Go for the pin. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?